I don't wanna know, so I'ma let it fade. Baby, I got issues, but I love myself.
Be good and don't do any silly things, okay? She nudged my head with a fist and made my hair ruffle successfully, which got me to purse my lips in a straight line. I looked at her with squinted eyes to see her standing outside the kitchen facing the living room where I am currently at, with one hand on her hip, with the other still holding the spatula. Typical Asian mother. Mom, I'm not crazy to do some silly things in front of a total stranger. I wore my sneakers, busy tying my shoelace, when a pair of feet stood in front of me. I looked up from my position to see her holding her both palms under her chin with a dreamy look as she spilled in her spot. That's what I'm saying, don't do any crazy things. Maybe in future he will become my son-in-law and he's super handsome, so don't embarrass me. I looked at her weird state, who is acting like a girl who just got noticed by a bias. Mom, you look crazy. Why, and trust me, you'll be crazy too when you look at him. He's like a full course meal. She told me with so many hand gestures that the food remains that in the spatula started to drip. I dragged my body far away from her, not wanting to stain my favorite dress. Mom, you stained my dress. Can you please, calm down for a second? She stopped at whatever she is saying to look at me to scan my dress top to bottom. Oh, well, here comes the nagging. Why, what are you wearing? Don't you have something else to wear? And what is this? Sneakers? Like for real? I rolled my eyes before bending down to tie the knot. Did I say that already? If yes, then once again. Typical Asian mom behavior. What? It's comfy. I sat up straight while shrugging my shoulders, which made her raise her eyebrow at me, like challenging me to oppose her. I blinked my eyes and the sweat started to form in my forehead. I let my eyes roam as I met hers, trying to find anything that would make me escape from this tension. Mom, my breakfast. Here comes my bag. Oh, wait, joke. I will prepare it real quick. She rushed to the kitchen, no longer concerned with my dress. Footsteps can be heard from behind me, and there is no need for me to look behind to see who is there. When a hand held my head from behind, pushing my head downwards, my brother came and made his way towards the dining table, which can still be seen from the living room. Hey, I worked really hard for this outcome. I scolded him while trying to fix the hair, while he tilted his face and scanned me top to bottom from the dining room. Like mother, like son. Oh, you're going to see your future soon to be? He quoted him with his fingers while nodding to himself. Not one if I didn't accept him as one. Not one if you scared him off with your face. I blinked my eyes with his comeback before his words settled in my mind. My lips pursed in an angry pout while my eyes furrowed at him angrily. Yeah, not the frog face. I marched to his side, raising my hands. He laughed at my face, trying to hide from my hits. His hand wrapped around my neck got me in a headlock. I hit his arms to let myself free, but stopped when he didn't move a single muscle. We stood in that position for a moment, with his arms around my neck while my hands clenched while holding his forearm. But he let me go when a tug sound was heard. He hissed before rubbing his face in his head, where Mom just hit him. She put the food in front of him, which made us crunch our nose from the thick red color liquid. He gulped hardly before taking a spoon to dig in, and he pursed his lips when the soup started to move like a jelly. My mom tends to do experiments on food sometimes. Jungkook took a bite before chewing it down slowly. His face looked like his entire life has been shown in a second. Before swallowing it down, he looked up at her mother, who was now eagerly waiting for his feedback. It's good. He gave a thumbs up, which made us hop to the kitchen excitedly. Jungkook took another spoon before swallowing it down without chewing it, and soon he finished eating. We are leaving, Mom, we shouted out while he grabbed his coat and bag. We left from our home toward his car. The car came to a halt when the cafe I was going to meet my date came. I waved my hands at him before opening the door. I was about to step down before he called my name. I looked behind, letting him to continue. It is not necessary to say yes. You can easily say no if you don't want to marry him, alright? I nodded my head at him before leaning down. You look ugly while being serious. He made his lip in a straight line before it was replied with a smirk. Oh yeah? I didn't recall your friends saying that when they begged for my number. Whatever, I muttered while rolling my eyes as I stepped outside. Why, Anne? I turned around lazily, looked at him through the window. He's a good guy, he said before waving his hand. He drove off from the spot. I looked at the spot where his car parked just before a second with confusion before shrugging my shoulders as I walked inside the cafe. I looked around in confusion, felt stupid for not seeing his picture when mom showed me. Well, my mom said he is handsome, so I let my eyes roam around throughout the cafe to find my potential good-looking date, but chose a seat when I didn't find anyone instead of couples and high school students. I let my eyes roam outside the cafe through the window when my eyes landed on a man that came outside his car. His back turned towards me, preventing me from seeing him. He bent down to pick something inside the car, and I let myself admire the view from the back. He wore his coat and turned towards me rather slowly. I squinted my eyes to have a perfect view of his face whenever he turned fully, and then he slowly started walking towards the cafe. I dipped my face in the table, resulting in me hitting my head and making a loud noise. I immediately looked up and started rubbing my forehead to lessen the pain, and looked away being embarrassed when the people in the room turned to look at me. The bell sound can be heard from a distance. I started panicking, and like a stupid I am, I grabbed the tissue in front of me, placing it on my face, hiding from him. God, why is he needed to be here at this time? Jenny, I don't need a dress. I whined at her while she pulled my hand, making our way inside the mall. No, you're not saying anything this time. You are buying a dress and your brother gave you a card to buy something and we are taking the opportunity that dropped straight on your lap. You understand? Her voice came out stern, made me shut up, before dragging me into a store. And finally, we made a stop, which sparked her interest. She immediately dropped my hand and started roaming through the collections, hunting for a dress. YN, over here. I looked around the shop, trying to decipher where my best friend's voice was coming from, and it took some seconds to find her in a row of dresses, holding a dress in her hand. It will look good on you, babe. You will look like a bomb in this. Try it on. She handed me the dress she's holding, pushing me to try it on. But I stood there, holding the dress, having second thoughts. I bit my lips before tapping her shoulder to get her attention. Don't you think it will fall out of this dress if I wear this? I expected her to nag at me like usual, but got nothing. Squinting my eyes in confusion, I looked at her to find her gone, but rather a young man stood in her place. Wow, he looks really handsome. My eyes started to roam his body top to bottom, admiring him, before he snapped out of my thoughts when he looked at me with wide, confused eyes while his index finger pointed at himself. Why did he look like a child that was lost in the amusement park? He looked at me before looking around, then again pointed at him. Ah, cute. I looked at him while blinking my eyes, and he blinked his eyes at me in return. Before the realization came to my mind, while the alarm ringed in my head telling me various I'd had to disappear from this place or even the earth, I nervously smiled at him before dashing from there. I cursed at the memory before looking at his figure through the tissue to find him looking for someone, but my eyes widened when he made eye contact with me. I immediately looked down, acting cool, but looked up again when someone stood in front of me. I came out of my thoughts when he opened his lips. Are you perhaps Yanwayan? I dropped the tissue, blinking my eyes before nodding my head slowly. His lips twitched into a beautiful smile, making his eyes clear before he offered his hand to me. Hi, I'm Park Jimin. Park Jimin? As in Park Jimin? My date?
I wanna know, so I'ma let it fade. Baby, I got issues, but I love myself.